Coming soon podcast with Spider.
Hello, everybody. Spider here, coming soon podcast, San Antonio, Texas, of course, with my guest, also in San Antonio, Alex Alcala. My man, how are you, bro?
Good, brother. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great, man. I mean, it is Monday. I know last week, I don't know if you yourself had to work Monday, man, but it threw me off, bro. Like, I had like a 3-day weekend, and all week I was kind of like fumbling on days as far as what I had to do and what I had coming up. But this week started out pretty good, man. Of course, man. I mean, being local, brother, I gotta ask you: are you from San Antonio, born and raised?
Yeah, brother. Born and raised here, man, in San Antonio.
Okay, cool, man. And of course, the name, dude, because of course I've seen you out there at the conventions, man, as a vendor, bro. I mean, you do sell online for those that are going to be watching this. You know, they can definitely plug in, follow you, of course, on your social media outlets, and of course, if they want to purchase, go to your website, right?
Correct. So yeah, the website Shop El Gigante Gaming, or Shop El Gigante for short, bro. So that way nobody has to put the whole gaming in there online. But either way, it'll take you to the website. That's been running for about a year now. Well, no, about a year and a half. So what? April of last year is when we launched it live. So yeah, but born and raised here in San Antonio. The name, I know we talked about, I talked about it, like coming up with the name. It's quick story, man. I think it was back in maybe like '07. It was just El Gigante, right? My gamer tag, because I'm a big gamer when I have time now, right? Because I got a family. But when I got time, but being a big gamer, I don't know if you remember the video game Resident Evil 4.
Oh yeah.
So one of the bosses in the game was El Gigante, right?
Right.
One of my favorite bosses, man. So I played Resident Evil 4, I think, back in the day on the Nintendo GameCube, and it just resonated, stuck with me. And then when the PS3 came out around 07, like I said, '07, I just plugged that in as my my gamer tag, and it's kind of just stuck with that name, man, ever since. So I figured, you know what? When I started doing the actual selling and actually, doing the whole business thing, I was like, you know what, El Gigante Gaming, and then I added the and Collectibles because I'm a big collector too. So kind of just stuck with it and ran with it ever since.
No, for sure, man. And of course, I mean, I was asking. I mean, not just because if you were born in San Antonio, man, but El Gigante, man. When I heard that the first time, I said, okay, I wonder if that has to do with El Sábado Gigante, man. I thought maybe you were like a big fan of the show back in the day, bro.
Oh yeah, no, man. And what's crazy, man? I did not know that there was also a wrestler in WCW who was El Gigante
Oh yeah,
as well.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, dude. And a buddy of mine who's also local to San Antonio, he's also there at the events too. And one day he just gave me a trading card of him, El Gigante. So I have that in my binder with my card. So
Oh man, bro. I was gonna say now you gotta make your own custom card now, man.
Dude, I have to, man. I think that would be pretty cool. And it was funny because I was actually watching one of his matches too. One of the WCW matches that because the WWE's on Peacock. I'm a big wrestling guy, wrestling head too, and it just so happened, man. I think it was one of the early Halloween Havocs. He was there wrestling, so I thought that was pretty cool.
No, yeah, dude. I know he made the crossover to the WWF, what it was called back when, and I think they gave him it was like a jumpsuit, man. It was just like I don't know, it was bad, dude. I mean, it's just that the guy was real stiff when he wrestled, man. So I guess they just tried to use his size, but it didn't work out, bro. But
I think so, dude. I remember what you're talking about too, man. I remember that suit.
But of course, man, I gotta ask you, bro, because being a gamer, man. I mean, was that what got you into collecting, or vice versa?
I think just ever since I was a kid, bro, like I always had toys, right? So like my mom, my dad, we always had toys. My brother, me and my brother, my sister, like, we always had toys, bro. Like growing up, like, being growing up in the '90s, right? So it was Power Rangers. Remember those, what is it? The GI Joes, the Mortal Kombat Joe. So like I've always just had toys, man. And it just stuck with me. Like there was a time like going through high school, I stopped collecting, right? Cause they were like, oh man, but for the most part, it just always stuck with me. And then I always had something like a display piece somewhere in my room. You know what I mean? And then now too, like just like having my own family, man, and the kids keep me young, right? So I mean, so it's just like they're into toys, I'm into toys, so it just kind of it never stops, man. And then I just it's just been just something, man, I've been doing ever since I was a kid.
You see, and you gotta love that because, of course, I've got 2 kids myself, man, and I mean, them growing up kind of got me back into like collecting because, of course, I took them to the toy aisles and I started picking me up stuff, and I got back into it again. But yeah, man, I mean, the fact that they're starting off like that because, of course, I mean, you said you started with your parents, so I'm sure your kids will grow up, collecting something, bro.
I'm sure it'll be the same way, bro. Like right now, they love wrestling. They love collecting. They collect the Marvel figures, like the main ones that they like. And then now, it's just it just never stops, man. So I'm sure when they get older, they'll probably keep doing the same thing, with their own. So it's fun. I'm a big kid at heart, dude. Everybody, anybody would tell you that. I'm always joking. I'm always laughing. Always talking about toys. Collect. I'm a big horror fanatic too. You know that, man. Being out at the horror shows that we're always out at. So,
I know,
yeah.
man, and every time, and I see this photo on there. I was gonna share it, bro, because every time I pass by you, man. I mean, this is just a little bit of what you have out there, but usually you set up, and my thing is this, bro, because before we started this, I had told you, I used to collect so much that I had to start selling stuff because I was like, damn, I was running out of room, so I would sell stuff and then start collecting again, and was that kind of what happened with you? I mean, were you kind of like, okay, you know what, I'm stocking up, let me go ahead and get rid of some of this stuff?
Yeah, you know what, dude? So, man, you know what? Like, I think really it didn't really take off until, I mean, because I've always had like, throughout the years, the figures here, left and right, and I think it was maybe towards like the end of 2020, like when with that COVID era,
Yeah.
dude, everybody was online,
Oh,
just in Facebook groups, and there, people were selling, stuff, toys and collectibles. So I was like, you know what, man, let me give it a shot. So I really didn't start doing it until maybe like the beginning of 21. But I started with my own, items that I had, right? That I had just kind of collected over the years that I was okay with parting with. So that's kind of what helped launch selling, the toys in the beginning, and then like 21, I kept it exclusive for 21. Actually, man, probably what, 21, 22. And then the first part of like literally the first couple months of 23, I was just strictly just selling everything online on our Facebook Live in one of our groups that me and my cousins and my brother created, the Chamber of Collectors. So we started that, man. We kind of ran with it, and then from there I was like, you know what, I need to start expanding and doing these events, and that's when I started doing them. I think maybe last March.
okay. Yeah, bro. And I was gonna say too, because I used to resell a lot. I mean, this is like
Mhm.
before COVID. I know after or during COVID, I mean, like you said, a lot of people were at home. I noticed, it was just harder and harder for me to find stuff, man, because everybody was out there hunting, But
Right.
before COVID, man, dude, I had like booths rented like throughout the city. I was selling stuff like
Really?
cheap, bro. Yeah, man. I had like, I mean, they would sell them for me, get the percentage, but I had like 3 booths, and like all of them would make. I would make over 1,500 every month, bro, per booth, bro.
Dude, that's awesome,
And I
man.
was selling like dude. I would find carded like Star Wars. I would find boxed like 80s like He-Man. I mean, you name it, bro. Like I was real big with knockoffs and bootlegs. So I mean, I used to
Right.
have obscure stuff, dude. Like I grabbed got a hold of a lot of knockoffs that people were like, man, where'd you find that? And that's just, I mean, I started going crazy, did trading. I started trading a lot in the beginning, and then
Mhm.
like I mentioned earlier, I mean, I had a room that I just had set up, but then I started getting like bins, like a full of action figures, bro. I would separate them, because I was the delivery contract delivery driver for years, man. I still do it part time, but it's just like I was everywhere. I was driving all over the city. I would stop
Right.
at garage sales. I would stop at flea markets, at estate sales, and I mean, every stop I would find something, man. And it was always like something great, So I would just go home, clean it, bag it, price it, and vámonos. So like do drop offs every week. One day a week, I would drop off like items, bro. And and my thing even back then was action figures that I would price them because I'm like, man, let me see what it's going for, and it would be like
Right.
$15, $20, and I'm like, you know what, dude, I'm gonna put 2 for 20, and I would like pair them up, and people were buying them, man. I mean, and there was like good stuff, bro. It's not like, I mean, they weren't damaged. All the damaged stuff, I would like trade off for parts and stuff, but it was a good hobby to have. I enjoyed it, but it became like a full-time job, and I already had a full-time job, so I was just like, man, I gotta, But like I said, I mean, during COVID, after COVID, it's kind of started getting a little bit harder, man. So I just closed them up, and that was it, But
You're
um,
not lying, bro. You're not lying, man. It's you know, and that's what you kind of noticed too. Like after, like, you know, once everybody started kind of getting back out there again, it kind of just made it tough, like doing the whole online thing for me, right? And I'm just speaking for myself because, and that's why I was like, you know what, let me start looking at a different avenue. That's when I started, you know, doing it. Hey, what's up, Sean? That's when I started doing it. You know, that's when I started doing it, you know, at the events. And actually, dude, now that Sean Fuller popped in there, shout out to Sean Fuller. But he's the one who I would see him always at the events at Wonderland, and he was like, Alex, you know, you should look into this, man, because you know he would see us, you know, in the lives and everything. So I was like, you know what? And then it took some time. It took me, man, you know, kind of just going into it. It took me I got laid off, bro, last January. So I did this full time for almost a full year last year. But it took that happening, man, for me to, okay, I'm gonna kick this into full gear. I'm gonna get my LLC going. And that's when I actually made it official. And I started kind of just, you know, reaching out to everybody and then doing the event. So really kind of Sean plugged that in and put that out there and just kind of just ran with it ever since.
No, for sure, man. Yeah, dude, because I mean, it's work, man. I mean, people think, you know, you can't show up on the weekend and just, you know, things put themselves up. But you guys gotta, you know, set up and break down and
you see it, bro. You always, sometimes you show up and I'm still setting up and the event started.
I wasn't gonna say that, but yeah, man, you're a little late sometimes, but it's okay, bro.
Yeah.
Man, but let me ask you, man, because of course, the events keep popping up. I mean, here in town, I'm going crazy, having fun, you know, attending as many as I can, and you know, I even go outside the city, bro. Like I've been trying to, you know, drive out and just, you know, more for networking purposes. You know, I know a lot of these people I know on social media, and then I finally get to meet them in person, so it's pretty cool.
Right.
But yourself, man, I mean, have you sold outside the city? Have you gone outside the city yet?
Haven't gone out the city, man. You know, that's probably something, maybe a plan or a goal for, you know, for me next year. I mean, we're already in September, but yes, I mean, something definitely I'm looking forward to, you know, getting out San Antonio, right? Like I see you, you know, going at, you know, different cities like, you know, Austin, right? Or I know Bastrop has some events, Houston, you know, Irving, Dallas. So that's next on the list, man. Like traveling, you know, this year it's been, you know, like I said, going on 2 years of doing them. So I think it's time, man, eventually to kind of branch out and get known more on like a state level rather than like a city level. Cause dude, it took a while, man, because when I first started, everybody was like, you know, like, who's this, who's El Gigante, you know, and all that. And, you know, kind of let them know. And then they got to see you out there a couple times before people actually start trusting you, man. Cause the first couple shows I did, like, you know, I didn't do great, you know what I mean? But it's just putting yourself out there and promoting. You know,
yeah. I mean, that's key right there, man. And that's the reason why, I mean, a lot of these events I go just to network, you know, loiter for one thing, but definitely network, man. And, you know, meet new people, you know, see old faces, of course. But, you know, it's always fun, man. I mean, the fact that, you know, it'd be different for you guys because you would probably have to get a U-Haul or something to take all your stuff up, right?
Right. You know, and that's, yeah, exactly, dude. Cause I mean, I can only fit so much in the truck. But you know, if we're gonna do, you know, an event like that out the city, you kind of want to bring everything in the kitchen sink with you, right? And you know, bring everything. So that's definitely in the works. It's in the plans. I mean, you know, of course, haven't been outside to sell, but of course, with the website, man, you know, shipping that worldwide. I mean, it's just crazy how people kind of find you. You know what I mean? Like I know, like I did a Google. I was telling my brother, I did a Google search the other day on my name, you know, on the company name, and it pops up, man. Like, you know, it's pretty cool to see that is what I mean. And you know, shipping worldwide, just, you know, international people finding me that I've never talked to, you know, and they message you after they get their product, man. They say, hey, thank you. So it's just things like that, man. And you know, I'm a big, like I said, I'm a big collector. I love what I do. You know, it's a lot of work, like you said, man, when we're up there putting up and tearing down, but at the end of the day, bro, like if you love what you do, it's not work at all, man. I love talking to people. I love people stopping by, seeing it, like, oh man, I had this when I was a kid, or, you know, it kind of just opens up that conversation, and then you start turning into Chatty Cathy, and, you know, you start making relationships with these people. And I mean, I'll be honest with you, bro, like I made a lot of good friends in the last couple, you know, since I've been doing this at the events. That, you know, you've built relationships with. So it's pretty cool, man. And then they start bringing their friends, their families, and, you know, it kind of goes from there.
No, yeah, man. You see, and for the most part, I mean, it's always, when it comes to a business, even podcasting, bro, like I've been doing this for a minute, and, you know, locally, I couldn't find any other podcasters. I mean, bloggers. I would see people out there that would get online and do their thing, but
Right.
I would try to network with podcasters like in Texas, bro, and nothing. People were kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll talk and ghost me, man. And I was like, okay, well, kind of like what you said, dude. I was new. I was doing combat sports. I'm still doing that, but I mean, when it came to horror, I just jumped in here and I said, the hell with it. I'm just gonna run with it.
Right.
Buddy of mine, he's a pro fighter out there in Austin. Like we started this, and his fight career started taking off. So he was just like, hey, man, I'm gonna. He's training, he's got a family. So I said, that's cool. I'm just going to run with it. And I did. And, it's taken a minute, like you said, because even being out there, like people don't know who you are. So it's like,
right.
A lot of these events, I mean, the ones locally, pretty much people already know me, man. I know who I am for the most part. But it's just, I always like getting a media pass because I'm like, dude, I don't want to be that creep in the back taking pictures. It's like,
yeah, right.
But it's just, it's one of the things I do. I always just go up to people and tell them, hey, you know what? I'm a podcaster. It's my podcast. I'm gonna be taking some shots. Is that okay? And just let everybody know what's up, man. For the most part, but I mean,
I see you out there working, man. I see you out there working. All the time.
I'm one of those, and I think I've said it the last time, dude. I'm out there. I don't get paid for it, man. I mean, the promotions, they allow me to be there, and I do it because I want to network and I want to keep growing this. But it's like I'm there because I want to, bro. Like I don't have to be there, just like everybody else. It's just. I do enjoy it, when they offer me an opportunity, I take it, depending on my schedule, it's just, but it's just, I don't know. I love staying busy, man. I mean, the fact that, there's something going on every weekend, I'm like, heck, even better, bro. I don't have to find stuff to do. But man, let me ask you, because even like this past weekend, man, I was out there in Waco, dude. I went out there to go shoot. A buddy of mine was, shooting his film, invited me out there. I had nothing else going. Well, that Saturday, I did intend to go to Bastrop. But when he offered me that opportunity, I said, you know what, man, I'm going to go out there, bro. I mean, I am trying to do the whole indie film. I've got a couple credits under my wing, under my banner, as far as like, voice acting and everything else, man. But, for me, it's just full circle. I actually even started incorporating like music, indie bands, like indie record labels and, just to plug that in and figure why not, everything I do, I wanted to incorporate like the other one. Other go full circle. But let me ask you, bro. I mean, you being a collector, being a seller, man. I mean, what's your vision, bro? What do you see yourself next year, or even?
Dude. Everybody always is like, man, when you gonna open up a store? When you gonna, you know what I mean? Like the next step is like, oh, a shop. This, and I'm like, man, like right now, with the way that the economy is, to me, financially, it's not in the cards, right?
Yeah.
But that's probably my vision for the next, maybe like in 2 years, right? It's kind of like where I kind of see it, just to kind of see how things go. I mean, doing the events and then the online sales, you know what I mean? It helps. It helps out. Don't get me wrong. But I still see myself, doing more events next year, of course, locally, and then like we talked about earlier, man, just branching out. Getting out of, I guess you could say, getting out of my comfort zone, right? And putting yourself out there even more. But yeah, man, that's kind of like where the goal is for next year. And then after that, man, the focus is to kind of start branding and trying to see if we can come up with something, man, with a little storefront here, in the future within the next, 2 years or so. Is kind of like where I'm at right now, what I'm thinking.
No, for sure. And I was going to say too, man, because I mean, for the most part, man, I mean, with what you're doing now, you don't have to be there every weekend. I mean, you can pop up, you can set up. I mean, it gives you a little bit more freedom because if something personal comes up, you're like, hey, I can't, I got to do something else.
Exactly.
With a storefront, you're going to have to pay overhead. You're going to have to pay, you know what I mean, somebody else to be there. You're going to have, it's going to be a little bit more costly, man. And that's one of those, you don't want to be upside down. I mean, I think it would just make more sense, like you said, just keep pulling these, setting up as a vendor for now, just getting the word out. Like you have been, because like, it's like you let people know, like, hey, I don't have it here, but check it out. I have my website. You can order it, I'll get it to you. And, I mean, that's it.
And that's what I do, man. Like, people are like, do you have a website? Do you have a store? I'm like, no, I don't have a store, but I got my shop site. So I have them scan the QR code at the booth. It takes them to the website, my website directly, all the social media. And then that way I'm like, hey, look, you can even buy it. I give the people an option like local pickup, right? So you can buy it and then you can come pick it up, at the booth. I'm always promoting that, man. So that way you get your item, you know what I mean? Come pick it up, come see it in person. You don't have to worry about shipping and waiting. So
Damn, that's I was gonna ask you about that too, man. I wasn't sure if you did that, but that's cool, man. I mean, if they're local, you can just tell them, hey, I'll be out here this weekend.
Right. Always promote it, man. It always promote it. Hey, we're gonna be here. So if you want to, you want to purchase it, that way you don't get to the booth. Because sometimes, man, like people get there, like, oh, I saw you had it when you posted when you promoted it. But then when they get there, it's gone. So it's just like, hey, you could buy it on the website, local pickup. Just show me the email when you get here, the confirmation, and it's yours. We'll set it aside for you. So that's always an option for people too. But I mean, I don't get me wrong. I like to promote what we have when I'm there. I promote what we get in like throughout the week or daily, but I kind of like to keep people surprised. You know what I mean? Because it's like, man, like, okay, but we know Alex is going to be there. We know El Gigante is going to be there, but you kind of want to give people that suspense. Like, man, what's he going to have this week? You know what I mean? So it's kind of like where I try to be too, man.
I was gonna say, because there's a few other vendors out there too that are artists that are always like, man, I painted all these for the event. I sold half of them already. He's not even set up yet. So I'm like, yeah, it just makes sense to kind of, I mean, you're paying to be there, so you might as well make some sales while you're there, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. So, it's just, yeah.
And let me ask you, because out of all the cool stuff that you have, bro, I mean, is there something, and I'm sure you can reorder it, but has there been something that you're like, you get in hand and you're like, damn, I don't want to sell this, man. I want to keep it.
Oh, dude. Okay. What did I just, and dude, my wife tells me all the time, she's like, you don't need it. You don't need it. Cause dude, I got so much, man. Like I'm a big collector myself, but recently actually, what did I keep for myself, man? I kept the vinyl record. So I'm a vendor. Well, I guess you could say, I sell product through Mondo. Like we all know Mondo, man. They sell vinyl records, collectibles, all that good stuff. But now that I finally landed an account with them, I ordered the vinyl records from Silent Hill, right? The video game. Nice, and as soon as I got it, man, I was like, dude, I'm keeping one for myself. So I kept one, threw it on the record player, and I was listening to it while I was actually packing, doing orders Labor Day weekend. So it's just stuff like that, man. I'm like, you know what? I got to keep it, or I'll keep a mask here and there for myself, because I have my mask displayed on the shelves, so it's just things like that, bro. Like if I really want it, like you said, I could reorder it, but sometimes like, and I tell everybody, hey, it sells out quick, things like that, man. So, but things like that, bro, like I'll keep,
No, my biggest thing is like I would have the same figure, but it'd be variants, be like a different shade of blue, a different, like one little thing. That's how they get you, man. You're like, it's not the same. Look, it's got a little speck on this one, the back of the leg, man. It's just
exactly, man. Exactly,
crazy, bro. Man, let me ask you, bro. Have you ever thought about setting up? And this is just hypothetical, but inside another shop, like I mean. This is, and I'm just saying that because I'm on my end, like I had thought about it, like when I have my booth, it just made more sense for me to have my booth because I didn't have to be there, and they got their percentage, and I was happy they were happy. Right. But a buddy of mine, this was years back, he actually had a barber shop, and he was like, "Hey man, when did you set up, man? I'll give you like the corner of the shop. You can set up your booth, and if you're not here, just have your code, and they can buy it, while they're here, and I'll check it and all that." And I thought about it, but then I was just like, man, it was me not being there and him being busy cutting hair. I said, man, I don't want stuff going missing, bro.
Right. And are you talking like leaving it there, like, overnight and like throughout the week and things like that, or?
Right. Just like the reason I'm asking too is because I have friends that have resale shops, and they rent out like spaces, like they rent out like a bookshelf and you pay for it, and but anything like that. I'm just curious.
Man, I really haven't thought about it too much. I mean, I know my barber, man. Shout out to Edgar, bro. South District Barber Company out there on South Florida Street. Nice. But he's presented me the opportunity, man, to like, hey, because I mean he knows what I do. We always talk about it when I go. But he's like, hey, Alex.
I think I lost him. Hold up, give me a second.
So one day out of the month, bring a booth, bring some stuff here. Just leave it here.
I think I'm losing signal, brother. Hold on. Give me a second real quick, guys. You still there? I think I lost you for a second.
Yeah, bro. I think it went black on my end. I don't know why. I'm here. But yeah, he presented that to me, man, about doing it. So that's something I thought about, like, one Friday out of the month, just bring a table, put some stuff on there, have the banner there, bro, and kind of just have some product just so that way other people can know too. So But as far as like in a shop, not yet.
Okay. No, just curious, man. I mean, there's always opportunities, and for the most part, it helps the other person too. Because if somebody's out there picking up their item, they see a barber, they're like, "Hey, let me get a haircut while I'm here."
Yeah, that's true, man.
But man, but let me ask you. I mean, of course, when it comes to being a vendor, bro, because like I said, you hit up pretty much every event that's coming up. There's one coming up this weekend. Are you going to be out there, bro?
Yeah, I'll be out there this weekend. It's going to be at Wonderlands of the Americas. It's the Queens and Kings of Horror event. So I'll be out there both Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 6 p.m. So we're going to be rocking and rolling all day, both days, man, Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, okay, yeah. And I was going to ask you if you were going up Friday, but no Friday, right?
Nah, no Friday, man. Unfortunately, I got to work, my full-time job, right? And then got to get, typically like what'll happen, I'll get everything ready Friday night. And then that way, we'll take it out there Saturday morning. But we'll be out there bright and early. Won't be late. And then at 11, man, to 6, both days. It's gonna be a lot of awesome celebrities. I have a lot of items too out there that people can buy to get signed from the celebrities that are gonna be there. So definitely stop by the booth because stuff like that, man, goes pretty quick.
No, for sure. And I was gonna say, man, I mean, when it comes to the celebrities, do you ever find yourself? I mean, do you go out there and meet the guys as well?
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. I know what is it? The Queens of Horror back in May. I met Scout, and I met Danielle Harris. I had to get my my Rob Zombie Michael Myers figure signed. So when there's somebody there, man, that I'm like, I gotta get their signature, of course, I'll head out there just for the Saw event that we did. Me and my son, we went over there and we met the gentleman who played the grandpa in Texas Chainsaw. So I got the mask signed by him. And I kept saying, man, if nobody buys the mask by Sunday at 4:00, I'm taking it. I'm gonna go get it signed and I'm gonna keep it. I think you can kind of see him right there, dude. Because the deal's in the way, but he's right there. So I ended up keeping it. There you go. We just talked about it.
Nice, brother. Nice. I was gonna say, what if you got it signed, you took it, you're walking back, and somebody wants to buy it, bro? What then?
I mean, dude, everything's got I tell everybody, bro, everything's got a price.
Yeah, yeah, I hear that, bro. Now, of course, man. I mean, because setting up. I mean, you've been at quite a few, man. When it comes to the Kings of Horror, man. I mean, they're always setting up great platform. Guests are always coming in. I mean, they're always packing house. I mean, for those that haven't been out there, man. I mean, what can you tell us about the events?
Oh man, it's an awesome event. To me, it's a wonderful atmosphere. I feel like I'm at home, with everybody, man. So, the community itself, it's very close. Like everybody's real awesome. I mean, not just myself, but there's a bunch of other vendors there, man, that, have all kinds of items that you can find from, handmade items. Even my mom's out there, dude, too. She sells handmade items herself. So you can find items like that, shout out to Creations by Joe. That's my mother's business. She'll actually be set up next to me this weekend. So she'll have her items out there. But I mean, dude, you can find anything and everything, music, you can get yourself something to eat. I mean, it's just a lot of things to do. You can spend a couple hours there, man, and really kind of just get lost in time. You know what I mean? Because I know when I go and I'm not setting up, I mean, dude, I tell my wife, oh, we're only going to go for an hour. Forget about it. We're there like, it feels like the whole afternoon.
No, yeah, I mean, I always tell people, man. I mean, they got the food court, man. So there's people selling food. I mean, you can't go wrong, dude. You got to go somewhere, sit down, take a break, and come back. It's like
exactly, man.
It's always an all day affair. I mean, of course, when it comes to the events, especially at the malls, bro, it's always free parking, free admission. I mean, of course, the guests, they do charge as far as for the most part, the photos and the signature. So, but everything else is free, man. You get to go out there. Right. I mean, the indoor weather is always great. It's not freaking too hot, not too cold.
Man, the weather's been pretty good here in San Antonio this weekend. So we kind of keep it like this for this weekend. Forget about it, man. Like why wouldn't you want to go?
We were filming Saturday in Waco, man. I had never been out there. I think it was called Cameroon Park. Mm-hmm. And never been to that place. It's a freaking lake and beautiful, brother. I was driving up there and I was like, damn, dude, it reminded me of the what's that The Shining, that the TV.
Kubrick, yeah.
They have those big old like animals. I mean, these were all metal though, man, but they had like big old statues of like an elephant, and then they had a gorilla, and and like the whole park was just freaking nice. So it was a nice day, man. Everybody was just like, damn, couldn't have been better, man. So it was definitely a blessing, brother.
That's good. That's cool, man. That's cool. Dude, I'm telling you, man, like the weather was perfect, something for like that. And then imagine if that can continue, here. I mean, I know we all start wearing long sleeves and jackets when we hit like this, 65. But I mean, dude, like that's perfect weather. Like just hey, like let's get out, let's take a drive, let's go see what's going on. Like you said, they're free events, free parking, so there's really no obligation. Go in, you walk in, you check something out. If you see something that catches your eye, I mean, hey, grab it. I know, like with me, like for big purchases, because I don't want people to feel intimidated or it make a big dent like in their pocket. But at the booth, I offer the what is it, the shop pay or the pay in four.
Oh, right.
So it's like, hey, look, man, something that costs $100, you could break it into four payments, or so it kind of gives everybody an option, or like, if you want that collectible that you've been after, because I get it, man. We love a hobby, we love the hobby, but sometimes like, man, I'll get paid till next week. Well, look, hey man, we can break it up for you. Here's the QR code, scan it, and you can walk out with your item that day, and then you just so that's always good to give people an option as well. Just kind of throwing it out there.
And that's good too, because I mean, for the most part, I mean, if you're going out there to get a photo, a signature, I mean, you don't have to pay that plus, you get to have a little break, man. And I've done it myself, and I like to do it because, of course, 4 payments, bro. Like I was like, hell yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, man, you're spending money on, on like you said, on a signature plus a photo. I mean, you're probably at what, maybe $60-$80 right there, right? Depending on that, if it's 1 or 2 people. So it's like, hey, you kind of want to shop around. At least we give that option for you, man. So that way it kind of gives your wallet a little bit of breathing room. And if you can take advantage of it, why not? You know what I mean? And it's just something that I like to give everybody an option for. Because I know people come, oh, I mean, how much is this? And some items, a little bit pricier than others, but at least you kind of make it affordable for everybody. So it's definitely a good option to give the people.
No, and I was gonna say too, man. I mean, because on top of collecting and selling, I mean, when it comes to sports, man, are you a football fan?
Yeah, big football fan, man. Minnesota Vikings. I know, I get it. Every time I say it, man, everybody's like, "What? Come on."
You were doing good till you got to that part, bro. I don't know. People
I know,
talking, bro.
I know, man. Big football fan. Started out the season with a dub yesterday, so I'll take it. I know everybody was like, "Are the Vikings for real? Or the Giants that bad?" So, but yeah, man, dude, it makes good sports talk. I love talking sports. Whether it's at work, at the booth, with friends, just casual conversation, man. But and what's crazy, dude, is like, believe it or not, like more times than none, like people stop by, hey, who's Vikings chair? That I'm like, it's mine. And sure enough, they're Vikings fans too, so they're out there.
Oh yeah. They just keep it on the low, man, because you never know, brother. No, man, I mean, that's cool, dude. I mean, all my siblings, dude. Everybody's like different. Everybody's got different NFL teams. I'll watch football, man, but I don't watch it till the end, and I don't have a peak. I don't have a team per se, man. I always just like to. I'm not a fan of sports on TV. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather go watch something live. If somebody's like, "Hey, we're gonna watch the football," I'm like, "Where?" TV. I'm like, "Nah, bro. I can do that at home." But if you're like, "Hey, we're gonna go watch something live," dude, like, even if it's high school, bro, high school, football, I'll go watch it. But
yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, but it's just I didn't. I mean, of course, like a lot of people here, I grew up watching, following the Cowboys. With back in the day with Smith and like everybody, bro. Like everybody's already gone. Aikman and all those people. But for the most part, I just watch it, man. I mean, whatever's out there. It's the same thing when it comes to like basketball, bro. Like I'm not real big, and I take that back. I do follow sports. I do cover combat sports, bro. Like MMA. I cover bare knuckle fighting, kickboxing. So when it comes to that, then yeah, dude, I can definitely sit down and watch that on TV. I'd rather watch it live though, but
right,
cool, man. And let me ask you, bro. I mean, are you a fan of combat sports, man?
Man. So I don't watch it too much. I mean, I know kind of like the main fights that you see people promoting, right? Like what is it? When you see what like Mayweather and like fights like that, bro. Like in the main UFC fights that they'll show. Like I'll know about them, but I really won't kind of like watch them too much, man. Like I said, to me, it's more. I don't know, dude. It's more football. Like my son kind of got me back into basketball. I know the Spurs, like we were kind of down. But my son started playing sports. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna follow it because he's into it. Like, but I mean, dude, being a San Antonio, grew up a Spurs fan, we were used to winning all the time. And then it kind of like, us going through that drought, I was like, really kind of get it. But once he got into it, he started playing it. I was like, man, I'll start following it again. So it kind of gives you stuff to do. Hey, what's up, Efren? That's my cousin, Efren Alcala. Shout out to Efren, man. He's another one that I mentioned earlier about us creating that group, the Chamber of Collectors. Shout out to the Chamber. That's where the group that we had created, man.
Is it still going on?
It's still going, man. It's still going. So that right there, I mean, you could find, that's where you could find, man, like people, we make posts, people make posts like, hey, I got this for trade, for sale. And again, man, that's another community too. Of course we keep it friendly amongst everybody. He runs it, I run it, my brother runs it, and a good friend of ours, we run it together. So, that's something that we've been, man, it's been going on, I think about a year and a half now that we actually created on a group. So that one's still going strong.
Sweet, man. And yeah, bro, I mean, I know they're all over the place, and for the most part, I mean, there's a lot of them that are a hot mess, bro. Like I get on them and I get off because I'm like, man, like people start bickering and arguing, and it's just,
yeah, man.
Yeah, it can get pretty crazy, bro.
It can. So, we keep it real close knit with everybody. And again, man, like I said, I feel like I solidified myself in that community. And, doing this thing, man, like I was like, you know what, I'm going to take it and see if I can run with it, doing the events, just trying to get more on the local scene. And, just this past year and a half, man, like I feel like I've made a lot of great relationships with a lot of great people. So it's like I'm always thinking ahead, man. I'm always brainstorming. I'm always telling my wife ideas of what I have. And I'm like, this is what I'm thinking, man, moving forward. So it's gonna be fun to see what the rest of the year has, for sure.
No, yeah, definitely, man. Of course, not to be a downer, bro, but I mean, this happened earlier, man. Or they posted this earlier.
I saw that.
But the man, he passed away, then, unfortunately, man. But from Lion King to freaking, Darth Vader, bro.
Vader, bro.
But it's a life, bro. I mean, I will say this, man, because every time these come out, dude, I'm like, damn, because we get so used to watching the movies over and over, and I've been watching movies at like the 80s, bro. So for me, it's like, damn, I keep forgetting that, we're getting older, man. It's just, for the most part, everybody that we watched back then is already in their 80s, 90s.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, dude, it's so crazy. Like, the celebrities that, we watched back then, and then even the wrestlers too, man. Like, I'm like, dude, like everybody's getting old, and some are still going at it, but it's just so crazy, man, to see, sometimes it feels like, dude, it was just yesterday or a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, dude. I always joke around because when people post something, I'm always like, man, I just saw that yesterday, because I mean, I did, it's just something that I can watch, but it's just like, man, how can it be 30 years, bro? Like, I think for me, for the most part, man, it's always those conversations where they're like, oh man, you remember this song? And I say, yeah, I used to listen to that like, 10 years ago, right? Or 20 years ago, and they're like in the 90s, and they're like, bro, that was 30 years ago. And I'm like, shit, I get more gray hair every time they say that, bro. But it's, they got to remind me, man. But it's just like, it's like, dude, I mean, 90s were wild. I didn't stay home. I missed a lot of movies during the 90s, bro. I was doing a lot of attending shows, going to live, music venues and everything else. But a lot of fun.
That's cool, man.
But I mean, but of course, man, you're going to be out there this weekend, bro. Only Saturday and Sunday. I mean, the event itself is going to be taking place 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. For those that are watching, of course, it's going to be a whole weekend of freaking everything great, man. I mean, there's going to be you guys out there. The vendors are going to be, bringing out some killer stuff as always is. So I'm looking forward to it. Are you going to bring anything new, man? I mean, don't tell me yet, but do you have anything up your sleeve, bro?
Yeah, I got some new stuff, man. That we'll be bringing out for sure, specifically for the event. I'll just sit here and say that the items will be related to the guests who are going to be there. So nice. Again, man, like you posted the flyer right there. If you pay attention, if you see who's on it, those movies, I'll have those items there at the booth. I love the way that the flyer looks, for one. But you got Dawn of the Dead, you got Jeepers Creepers, man, Halloween. So Hellraiser, God, that's my favorite. But just pay attention to that flyer. You can come find yourself stuff at the booth with those movie related items. So if you want to buy it, you just walk on down, man, and get them signed by the celebrities and take your memorabilia home.
No, you see, and for the most part, man, and I always tell people this, bro, because for me, I mean, the promoters, they usually post the events like a month or 2 months in advance, just depending on what's going on. So if I'm somewhere and I know something like somebody's showing up for this event, like I'll buy something ahead of time, bro.
Yep.
That way I don't have to be like, stumbling and trying to find something towards the end. But I mean, that's definitely another one, people got to look out for, man. So if you see something, pick it up. And like you said, you have the payment option, man. So they can, it's an app, right? They download it or they apply for it.
Yeah, so it's I know, like, I bring it up, it's a QR code that they can scan, it'll take them in the Shop Pay app, and then they just fill out the info, man, and then it says, hey, you're good to go. Boom, you walk away with it. So it's an option. But I feel you with that. Like last year when I went to the Houston Horror Film Festival, I didn't have nothing to take because I wanted to get it signed by Ken Foree and Danielle Harris. It was that Rob Zombie, man, the Michael Myers. And I was like, man, I was fumbling, I was looking for it, nobody had it local. And I mean, I paid up for it on eBay, but I took that with me, and I went to go get it signed. But that's what I tell everybody. Like, at the events, man, like whatever's going on, I try and theme it to it, so that way, like, people can, if they stop by the booth, they can kind of see, okay, I can get this, and if I want to get it signed, I have the option to do it. So, I think about like myself too. If I go to an event, okay, I'm gonna look for stuff that's related to who's gonna be there, so I can buy something and then get it signed, by one of the celebrities.
No, for sure, man. And I mean, and I'll put you on the spot, man. But I mean, is there one celebrity that you're looking forward to meeting this weekend?
This weekend?
Yes, sir.
It'd probably have to be the gentleman, man, who played on the flyer, the Chatterer from Hellraiser.
Yes, bro. Yes.
That's my bucket list, bro. Like in my collection, I had the lair, that NECA made years ago. That dude, you could buy it. I think Spencer sold it for like $50, right? I mean, I think I bought it for near $300, a couple years ago. But like, I'm a big Hellraiser fan, so that's my bucket list, to get something signed by everybody little by little, just because you never see anybody from that movie come down to San Antonio specifically. So to me, that's kind of big, man. So I'm looking forward to meeting him this weekend.
Nice, bro. I know, man. I've got like 3 or 4 people I definitely want to meet, man. I'm hoping I can get some interviews and get some content. I'll definitely get, man. But we'll see. We'll play it by ear, man. But I'll definitely be out there 2 days, not 3 days, man. We'll see. We'll see what the time brings, bro.
Take it easy, man. Take it easy.
No, for sure, brother. But man, thank you for coming on here, man. Of course, anything you want to say before we wrap this up, bro?
Oh man, I just want to say I appreciate your time. I know we and I kind of talked about it. So I'm glad we're able to link up, and you brought me on your platform to kind of just talk and shoot the breeze and just put the business out there. So I appreciate you letting me do that, for one. So thank you, brother. And then just again, man, it's been there at the bottom, shopelgigante.com. Of course we're local to San Antonio, Texas, but we ship worldwide. When I say we, I say my family, bro. I'm always like, hey, support small business. I'm out there, too, with the vendors, and if I see something, man, I like, I'll buy it, to support them, just because I know like that goes a long way. You know what I mean? When you're buying from somebody local like that, man, and it's like, when I see somebody have something, and if I can get it from somebody's booth rather than like a big box store, I'm gonna buy from from that person, man, and supporting them, because I know it'll go to a good cause. But again, just want to say thank you. ShopElGigante.com. Facebook, El Gigante Gaming and Collectibles, Instagram, El Gigante _13, TikTok as well, man. So we're kind of all over the place. I'm not too familiar with the TikTok because it takes a lot of work.
Yeah,
but
that's one I'm in, but I don't know how to work it, bro. So
gosh, it's so hard, man. But the kids know how to do it, which is crazy. So but they're like, hey, you got to get it going. So I got it, got some videos up there. But I mean, when you stop by the booth, it's got everything on there, so you can give us a follow. And shout out to our group, man, on Facebook, the Chamber of Collectors. Shout out to Efren's Treasure Chest, Creations by Georgina, my mom's business. And just, again, bro, thank you very much for bringing me on. It was nice talking with you. It went by quick, man. I was kind of nervous in the beginning, but when you're just kind of just talking, bro, everything kind of just rolls off the tongue.
No, definitely, man. That's what I always say, dude. I always like having conversations. I mean, as much as I see you guys out there, everybody's welcome, bro. I mean, I keep inviting everybody, so it's just scheduling, as far as for the most part. But whoever jumps on, man, I'm grateful. And like I said, dude, I mean, I love bringing you people on here. you guys out there hustling it, dude, and hopefully bring you back, man. I mean, this weekend, of course, I'll see you out there. But for the most part, man, I thank you as well, for jumping on.
So, yeah, brother. Thank you, man. Yeah, we'll definitely get together again, and we'll do this, and we can, talk about another, event or, some new stuff that we're cooking up in the future. I'm definitely looking forward to the collaboration.
No, definitely, man. Don't hang up yet, brother. But of course, everybody out there, once again, Spider Coming Soon podcast.